Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington TTouch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi. And we're here in the living room by the fireplace with the Corgi stockings hung by the chimney with dog hair, as Susanna nicely stated. There's actually a fire in the fireplace, but I don't know if you can see it. It's propane, so it's not a real fire, which is good. So we're here today to talk a little bit about things you can do for your dog to help him on New Year's Eve. There are going to be fireworks and celebrations everywhere. In my town, there are fireworks at 6 o'clock and again at midnight, and that is probably 5 miles from where I live, but it's still loud enough to make my little Corgi nervous. So I wanted to show you some things that you can do to help keep your dogs calm during the celebrations later this evening. And it's going to be so cold, I think a lot of people are choosing to stay indoors, which is smart. But certainly there are some things you can do with your dog, and these things are all techniques from Tellington TTouch work. You can find out more about that work at TTouch.com, and all of the things I'm going to show you today are also on YouTube under Conversations with a Corgi in prior episodes. I think the first 40 episodes were all about TTouch. Tristan's wearing his little scarf today to keep warm. So one of the important things that you can do to help your dog during loud noises and fireworks is work on their ears. Now, TTouches are a kind of body work that works to affect the central nervous system. Other body work you may be familiar with, like massage, relax the muscular system. So this is why it's so effective for things like behavior and training. So all of the basic circular TTouches are a circle and a quarter. So you imagine the face of a clock, and you're going to start at the 6 and make that circle and a quarter around the clock face back to the 9. And that makes a big difference. So make sure your circles are indeed a circle and a quarter. And we're going to be doing these circles so that they take about 2 seconds. So it's sort of a breath in and a slow breath out. So we're going to be working around the ears. So the first thing you're going to do, you're using your middle finger. He's the one really doing the circles, and the other ones are just following around. So we're going to be doing what we call clouded leopard and lying leopard. Clouded leopard's just the very ends of your fingers, and lying leopard's more flat. If you have a big dog with a big head, he's so little, I think I can only really do clouded leopard circles there. So my hand's going to be doing this motion. A circle and a quarter, and then go to a new spot, circle and a quarter, go to the new spot. Sue's out there. Dory's watching you, Tristan. Look handsome. So we're going to be doing these circle and a quarters around the base of the ear. Make sure your pinky is down and your thumb is an anchor, holding your hands connected to your dog as you do the circle and a quarter. And Tristan's very relaxed, so it's pretty easy to see what I'm doing by what his ear is doing. Look, Tammy Howard's watching. All kinds of people are checking in on Conversations with a Corgi. Get your dog ready for New Year's. So you do these circle and a quarter, working on his other ear now, all around the base of the ear. If your dog's really nervous, sometimes even their teeth will chatter or get really grippy or tense. You can even do these around the jaw. Oh, I forgot to bring out my visual aid to explain this better, but we'll demonstrate some other way. So you're doing these circle and a quarters around the base of the ear. That's your basic TTouch, and it's really good for relaxing your dog if he's nervous about other dogs, if he's nervous in the car, nervous at the vet. The ear work is really important. And in my new cards, Dances of the Heart Animal Connection cards, there is a card for the Magic 3 TTouches, and the ear work and mouth work and heart hugs are those magic touches. And it's because they do create magic transformations in your dog. So we're just doing these circles around the ears. And then we're going to do ear slides. So you're supporting the ear with your fingers and just sliding gently with your thumb. Don't let the ear snap like that. You want to just gently release it. And if your dog's ears go down, Tristan will simulate a beagle. You do the slides down towards the ground. He says, that's not very comfortable, Mom. So the ear slides, actually, if the dog is really nervous, doing these a little firmer and faster can really help calm them down. See, he's yawning. He's relaxing already. And you can have your thumb on the outside or the inside. Just be sure that your hand is like this, depending on how big your dog's ear is, so that you're supporting it on both sides. At the very tip of the ear is a shock point in acupuncture. If your dog is in any way sick or injured, it's really good to know about that shock point. Also, if your dog is very cold, if you went out for a hike or a snowshoe, maybe with a big dog, not Tristan, it's too cold for that, and he's starting to look really not like he's going to make it home very well, and he's shaking, rub this point on the ear, and you can really bring your dog's body back to homeostasis. The other thing is, around the base of the ear, we have 3 points in acupuncture for the triple heater meridian, which affects respiration, digestion, and reproduction. We're not so worried about reproduction today, but we certainly are worried about breathing and digesting. So that's one of the good effects of doing these circles around the base of the ear. So you have the circles here, and the ear slides, and maybe some circle and a quarters around the jaw. And then if your dog's super, super nervous, you can just rub that tiny little tip of the ear, which again, if your dog is a beagle, it's going to be down here. Right, Bissy? And you can do these circles all over your dog's body, and that will help them relax. So the second thing I want to show you besides the ear work is using a wrap. Now you have all day to find an ace wrap running around your house. If you can't find one, a knee sock, or depending on the size of your dog, even I've had clients use old leggings, pantyhose. Not so many people have things like that around anymore, but you certainly have some leggings. And with a dog the size of my niece's, Pit Bull, Ridgeback mix, a pair of leggings would work just fine. So the wrap, many of you are familiar with the Thunder shirt. We use the Thunder shirt for dogs who are nervous about thunder, and if you have one, today might be a day when you're pulling it out. If you don't have a Thunder shirt, or maybe it doesn't fit your dog anymore and you got it when he was younger, a wrap can be almost as effective, and in some cases more effective, depending on what you're trying to help your dog with. So we take the wrap. This is the most basic wrap I'm going to show you. You put it around the dog's chest in the middle. Make sure your ends are kind of even. Cross it on the top of your dog. We're going to go right over your scarf, Biss. Go under his tummy, and then, whoops, Bissy, it's hard. It's hard under there to get around you. And then back to his top. Now I have Velcro on my wrap. It's not super secure though. I would probably pin this if I was going to leave it on him any longer. So you can see it just goes around the chest, around the tummy, and back up. Make sure when you put the pin on the top that it's not right on the spine, it's off to one side. And you can also just tie a knot there. And if your dog's really nervous, like he might be, because he really doesn't like fireworks, you can put it a little snugger. And you can also tie a knot there if you have enough room to hold it. If you're using a safety pin, a baby safety pin is better than a regular one in case it comes undone. You don't want to poke your dog because that will really defeat the purpose of what you're trying to do. So that's the wrap. See? Stand up, Bish. Show him the bottom. It's just crossed under his tummy. He says, Mom, that's embarrassing. Terry Marsh, wishing you a happy new year. Thank you. You are so welcome. It's my pleasure. So you can try the wrap. If your dog is big, you want to get a little wider wrap. Tristan's pretty little, so this 2 or 3 inch wrap is perfect for him. And it doesn't have to be a pretty color. If you just have one from when you sprained your ankle skiing 5 years ago, and now you've got a dog that's nervous, you can just use that one. And you don't have to do this extra loop back up around the top. You can just tie it under their tummy if your wrap isn't long enough. And just having it over the shoulders like that can really calm your dog down. So put the wrap on, like I know my fireworks are starting at 6. I would put the wrap on him at about 5 minutes of, maybe 3 minutes of, before he's started to get nervous. It works best if you do that. Some of the other things you can do are using some of the flower essences we talked about earlier, or an essential oil like peace and calming or lavender, or some essential oil that your dog likes. You do not want to put the essential oils directly on your dog, especially if you just have like a common supermarket brand, because they're not that pure. But you could put a little drop on his wrap. Just make sure it's not very strong, because their noses are so much more sensitive than ours. You can really make your dog upset with something. Imagine yourself putting your nose right into a Febreze. Oh my God, you'd be like, eh! That's how your dog might feel if you put some really strong lavender too much on the wrap, but just a little bit. He likes to sit on the sofa in the other room. It's really kind of his room, his sofa. So I might just put a drop on the blanket that's covering the sofa, just so he can smell it and it helps relax him. So you can try that as well. And also try not to give him too many things during the day that are going to get him more excitable. Not a good day to feed your dog lunch meat, hot dogs, things like that are hard to digest and chemical laden. Better to stick with more whole foods on a day like this, carrots, things like that, to help your dog stay calm no matter what's going on out there. Bisky, we're going to put your wrap back on because it's getting Velcroed all over me. He says, Mom, it's not very straight. Now, the Velcro on these wraps was hand applied by my friend, so not every wrap is going to have a Velcro on it. So again, just do some of these touches around the base of the ear slides, just running your fingers up the ear. You can do it that way or with the fingers on the top. And if your dog's super nervous, remember the point on the end of the ear. And depending on your dog's response, you can do these fast or slow. If your dog is calming down with you doing them at a nice slow rate like I'm doing now, that's great. If your dog is super nervous and not calming down, you can do these ear slides faster and harder, and that will help calm your dog down. Right, Tris? And don't forget to do them around the mouth and the face as well, those circle and a quarter. Remember, we're imagining the face of a clock starting at the 6, going around a circle and a quarter back to the 9 as you do the T-touch circles. And then your middle finger is really driving your hand around that circle and a quarter like a paw, like this. Your hand should not be flat out like this, so you can hardly do a circle. You want it bent up like a paw as you do the circle and a quarter. So those are a couple of tips to help your dog safely and calmly make it through the New Year's celebrations tonight. So this is Tristan and Sally wishing you all a happy New Year. Lots of health, love, peace, and prosperity coming up in your 2018. And we will be back tomorrow at around 8:30 to talk to you about New Year's resolutions for your dog. Thanks for joining us today. Everybody have a great day. Have a safe holiday. Stay warm. Keep your dogs inside. And really celebrate the change of one year to the next. Thanks for joining us today. Where's our Corgi music, Biscuit? Look at all these people saying Happy New Year. That's so nice. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Danny. And all your dogs. Right, Biss? And I just want to point out my Corgi stockings here. The first one looks like my Corgi Winston, and then the one that's blue looks like my Corgi Comet, and the next one over my shoulder looks like little Tristan. So I don't know what my fourth Corgi is going to look like, but I should probably look at the new Christmas stocks and see which one looks like a Corgi. That could be my next dog. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day and celebrate safely.